I'm Colonel James Mwesige, the RCC of Mbarara City. We have been having challenges of thieves, criminals who have been breaking people's houses, stealing goods, terrorizing the community. So last week we sat the security committee, we sat the intelligence committee, we sent intelligence on the ground, and they found out the hides out of these people. So on the 4th, on the morning of the 4th, security had surrounded the areas of Kiyanja. Those areas they had identified those criminals where they were staying, and they arrested about 8 people. They arrested many, but the hardcores were 8 people who were found with pangas, with knives, with spears, with hammers and ropes. They were arrested, they were brought to police, and police is investigating as prepare files. Today I'm told some have gone to court, and the rest will also go to court. Then we had a very bad situation where in Kiyanja the criminals attacked, I think, some place, and the chairman LC1 called the OC Ruharo, who unfortunately went alone with a gun and got a border. They moved him to that place, and then he was told these criminals have run towards this end. As he was following them, he ran into an ambush. He was shot dead, and the gun was taken. And security has been following that gun. They had stolen a gun from Ivanda, which has also been moving around. We suspect this is the gun they used to kill our OC and took the gun. But the people of Mbarara should know that security is alert. These guys will be arrested and the gun will be recovered. They will be arrested like these ones have been arrested. By the way, even people who have been strangling people, killing them using these wish vehicles, some of them have been arrested and their vehicles. The police has just brought them, some from Bushenyi, others were got from Metoma. So I want to assure the people of Mbarara City and the people that are listening to us that this government can maybe fail in any other thing, but not in security. We shall get them. No, as you are saying that opposition is saying we have failed to control the security situation, maybe they are the ones planning it, carrying out these killings, so that people can say that the government has failed. But why do you kill your own people? Why do you kill your brothers? Why do you kill your sisters? Why do you kill your aunts? That you are discrediting government. We have never failed as a government, as this government, in things connected with security. We shall succeed. We shall succeed. This one is going to come to an end in a very short time, and the criminals will be brought to book. And we have brought many to book. We have brought many to book. You go and visit police and see those people that have been arrested, and see those that have been taken to court, and see those that have been arrested today, and they will be continuing getting arrested until these criminals are all uprooted.
Amahimbisibwe Urba Fosongo, Chairperson FDC Rwampara District, and resident of Mbarara City. Now, when you hear that a security officer, especially at the rank of OC, has died, and because of moving at night Others are saying that he was running after the thieves. You wonder what will happen, especially to the common man down there in Chisenyi, in Kakova, and so on. I also pose one question to those who are seeing us, that why has he gone ahead to have an operation as an OC? Originally, I thought that to have an operation, you must have planned for it. Secondly, you must go with colleagues. So we are not yet sure whether this OC was on operation alone. Because as an OC station for Haro, why do you move around to execute the operation? Now, this is the situation where you find that a security officer is taking himself or herself as an Alpha and Omega. If it happened that yes, he was doing his operations and then the thugs attacked him, then it was unfortunate. But I think that is what you call military operation error. Because you can't have an operation alone. So secondly, these people who are killing us, they are not far from us. As a citizen, I just see the redundancy in security operatives. Because if the security officer or the police officer at the rank of OC can meet a death in such a manner, what about Farouk and other ordinary citizens who are also moving at night? So I think the security operatives should revise their means of how they are protecting Ugandans. To me, I think it's high time Ugandans, we have to cooperate with police. The police must come closer to us, and then we promote peace. That's why these days when the people see the police, they run away. And yet they are supposed to be our friends. So, what happened in Ruharo, it was really bad. I condemn it as a senior citizen, and it is a lesson to other police officers that never move alone, always move with a colleague, especially if you are going for an operation. The moment the security relaxes, then these criminals will take over. And in a situation where the country is controlled by the criminals, by the gangs, then the ordinary citizen will suffer. Now, if it is not political, then the security operatives have mandate to control it. But if it is political, then they have to dig deep to find the reasons why. Because it may also be a political tool to be used in order to expose the government, the weaknesses of the government. Because remember, this government has been telling people that it has brought peace. Now somebody is asking that if you have brought peace, now why is it that the people of Masaka are suffering? Why is it? Because if somebody with just a panga, can terrorize the UPDF and the police in this country, now what about if somebody uses a gun? So I think there must be a joint operation. The security operatives must wake up, and they should not start being proud all over the country that they have defeated these people of Bijambia. In Nyankore, we have a proverb that tarum fataroju. That is what the government is supposed to say, because they must give an excuse that it is the opposition that is daring all this saga of the Bijambia and so on. But what are you expecting from the government? Because it has failed to protect Ugandans. The borders have been dying. These people, these people in the village, when you look at all the districts, every day there is a person dying. Maybe domestic violence, accidents, the border safety and so on. Is that also opposition? I think there is nothing government can tell these Ugandans apart from choosing opposition. Because for them they think, an opposition person with a stone, how can he terrorize the whole battalion? The government has security all over. It has intelligence, it has the vessels, the pistols and so on. So it is just a blame game. They don't have nothing to deliver to Ugandans apart from tarnishing the name of opposition. But for us, we are saying yes, much as we are opposing you, here is what we are supposed to do. Because our role is very simple, is to give an alternative. If you have failed to provide security to Ugandans, what do you expect from opposition? Because opposition is not in charge of security. The government of NRM is in charge of security. Let it protect the Ugandans. Otherwise, this system of saying it is opposition, we don't have any barracks in Uganda. We don't have a police station. How can we now terrorize the Ugandans? So I think it is just a blame game. So the supporters who are viewing us there, you just be strong. We are about to reach. These are signs of a corrupting government. They are about to end, because for you who is seeing us, how do you want the NRM to end? It must end in that way. This frustration of the Jambia and the blame game of opposition was not there in 2010. Why now? Especially after the 2021 elections. And remember, we are complaining about elections also. These people didn't win the elections. They didn't. They know where they passed. So it is very hard to steal a leopard. Because at the end of the day, it will turn against you. So Ugandans, let's be calm, and we are about to reach. There must be factors that can lead to the collapse of the government. You don't expect the government to remain fixed like that. At the end of the day, we shall also reach. Now, Ugandans who are seeing us, please always go back home early and be vigilant. Don't move alone. Make sure move with a colleague. Be security conscious. Never trust anybody, especially when it is coming dark. And if you are driving, check in your mirrors. Somebody may be following you, and you can stop where people are many, especially in the center. Then you keep observing that person who was following you. And those who have shops and other businesses, please close early, because this season is not good. At the end of the day, we need you. We need you alive. Let us not have money than our lives. As we shall reach, and make sure you don't trust your friends, because in most cases, these problems we meet along the way, when you follow them or when you try to discover the source of the problems, you realize that most of our friends are the main cause. So let's not overtrust our friends. Let's be security conscious. Let's try to carry out research as far as security is concerned. Have the numbers of the police officers near you, OC, the DPC, and so on. At the end of the day, if we are united, I think we are going to defeat these terrorists. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Bright Muhumuza. I am one of the coordinators of National Unity Platform in this Ankole sub-region. I am telling you now, what is happening in Ushenyi, in Masaka, everywhere in the country, is largely because of psychosocial issues. People are stuck in absolute poverty. People have been unemployed for over 10 years. You graduate and it ends there. People are depending on sewage for survival. They don't have water, just water. People are stuck with diseases. You see, now in Uganda, I want to tell you that when you visit any government health center, you just go there to maybe to make your death official, so that you are counted as a person who has died from a hospital. But you don't go there to get access to medical attention. There are no medical supplies. The doctors are not there. The nurses are not there. I am telling you, everything is in shambles. So my issue is now, everybody is talking about Bijambia, and you see, the issue is not about Bijambia only. We have 19 women who die every day for only one reason, because of giving birth. We have 21 children who die every day in Uganda because of hunger. And the solution for hunger is known. It is just food. Members of parliament are just there seated in the parliament, increasing their salary day by day. Their people are dying of hunger. The level of desperation in the population is increasing at a very high speed. Very many Ugandans were displaced. Like people who were entirely depending on Lake Victoria. They were removed by UPDF, killed, some of them displaced, and they don't have anything to do. Their survival was entirely on Lake Victoria. So now what do you want them to do? Everyone in Mbarara is asking himself about the death of the police officer. Now, but the question should be, or the debate should be directed to answering a question of why many Ugandans are dying for no reason. Because first of all, if a police officer is caught raping or having sexual relations with married women, and they are stabbed to death, for example, do you blame it to us as citizens? Now, because he has blood like any other, the question should be, why do we see many Ugandans dying for no reason? A police officer, we are losing 17 women because while giving birth every day. We are losing 21 children every day because of hunger. And we are talking of the death of this police officer. This police officer, his death is as big as a death of a one day child who has died of lack of medical supplies. There are many people who die because of lack of medical supplies. So if we still have that situation in Uganda, our health sector is still wanting, it is not equipped, many people don't have jobs, many people don't have access to education, to many things. And it is causing psychosocial issues, I was telling you. People are stuck in poverty, they are unemployed, they are stuck with diseases. I am telling you, so you cannot come here and start mentioning the deaths of one police officer when we are losing. Do you know how many people have died today in Rufaro here, in Rufaro Hospital? Do you know? And they have died not because they wanted to die. They have not died of natural causes. They have died because of lack of medical supplies. So yes, the police officer died, yes, but he's not the only one who has died in Mbarara. There are even others more important than the police officer. But because he's in security, that's why he's being given an opportunity, his space in the media, everywhere. But we have lost lovely mothers. We have lost babies. We have lost, people have died because of accident. Just accidents. You see, in other countries, it is unheard of to hear that a bus has had a head-on collision with another one. How do they meet? There is no planning at all. So, if you find that in a country we lose over 1,000 people every month because of accidents, and we just come here to ask him about the death of one police officer. So, I think we should answer that question to solve issues or to attend to many questions that have been asked by Ugandans when they are dying, why they are dying because of lack of supplies. in many spheres of life. There is no food, there is no water, there is no electricity, people are indebted, everybody is stuck. You see, people may not understand that psychosocial problems can cause desperation, which leads to death. Because if you are looking for people to recruit, you look for the most desperate, the most vulnerable. Now, what causes that vulnerability is poverty. A situation of desperation, losing hope completely. You graduate, and after graduation, you just become stuck extremely, that you cannot even afford lunch, you cannot even afford a cup of water. So, and you somebody comes, hey, may I recruit you? You immediately accept it. So, if the government cannot come in sort of psychosocial issues, especially poverty, if government officials continue displacing Ugandans, land evictions, exclusion from financial economy, the people are not included in finances. Many 90% of Ugandans are not involved in any transaction of anything to do with money. 90%. Land is owned by very few individuals, known, if it is not one tribe. Employment opportunities are given to one people, to one tribe and one class of Ugandans. Everything. They are the ones driving good cars. They are the ones owning farms. They are the ones even sleeping with beautiful women. You can imagine. So, Mr. Faruku, I want to tell you that when you even reach an extent of having a specific class of individuals sleeping with the most beautiful women, then you know, because now, as a poor person, how do you get access to a beautiful girl? You cannot. When you enter a bar, they are the ones with expensive liquor. When you go to school, they are the ones with the expensive, they take their kids to expensive schools. So at the end of the day, my friend, it is a timing bomb.
My name is Aine Christopher, and I'm the Deputy RCC in Mbarara. On what happened, this incident, I want to assure people that everything is under control. We've been handling cases of this nature as the security, and I can assure you, I will not say much because these issues are under investigations, but you wait very soon. You will see what I'm talking about. Thank you very much.